Hello, I hope you remember me. My name is Bethany and this is Abundantly Inspired, and I am back with my studio makeover. Finally, there is sunshine. It is not a dark day, which it has been dark and rainy, which is typical for April, I guess, especially in New England. Sorry I have wet hair. And I did not want to procrastinate any longer. I have been painting, I've gone past my hallway. Well, actually I have to do a second coat on one of the walls in my hallway because I've went through painting this whole room, the walls and the trim and the baseboards and everything. And then I got so excited by how great it looked that I went down my hallway, and that's a whole other story and not here for that. This is kind of cool, this new setup, because I have my cutting table now is right across. I will show you, I'll give you a tour around, but I thought this was such a pretty setup now. And I have new chairs. I have swivel chairs that are, I feel like I'm a grown-up now. I finally have real chairs in my sewing room. They are a little bit bulky because this room is just about 10 by 10. There's this little bump out over there for the door, so you kind of lose some space, and then there's two windows, so there's not many walls in here and the closet, so it is not the biggest space, but I'm very thankful for it nonetheless, because I have sewn in all kinds of things. I have sewn in a laundry closet, I've sewn on the floor at friends' houses, I have sewn in my bedroom, I have sewn, like, literally, I can't even count. One time I had a basement sewing studio, which was huge, but it was not the greatest. You know, I mean, I tried to make it really cute, but anyway, now I'm here and I'm super duper excited at the changes that I've made, so much so that I don't know if you've noticed, but I have been making video shorts. And I have been going like a house on fire ever since I painted in here, because it just looks so bright and it looks so cheerful. I'm just gonna show you, like, the sunlight is just amazing. Now I know I said it's been overcast, but it's, I mean, it was a little too overcast to be like, look, I painted my room, and you couldn't even see really. So my book of projects has been, I've been, and the last, I'd say 3 days, I kind of hit a snafu finally, which I think I did over 13 different projects in a row ever since I painted my room. And I finally hit one that I really struggled, and it did not turn out. I mean, it's pretty, but the function is kind of like meh. So that was a little disappointing. And I'm talking so much because I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to share it with you too, because I know that, you know, you all through the camera can only sense a little bit of, you know, the joy and the happiness and refreshing that has happened in my room, but you probably can sense it more in me, just because it's like a nice fresh start. And yeah, I think with anybody, like when you redo a space, you really do change the energy in there. And you know, I always think like, oh, you know, I'm thankful for wherever I am, whatever situation, even if it's not ideal. But I think that it's easy also to use that as a bit of a crutch, and you make no effort. And I think that, you know, God is always there with us, and he's always willing to join in to give us the help and the assistance, the guidance and provision that we need, but we can't just stand there and do nothing. Like, God has given you a shovel. He's not expecting you to wait for the hole to be dug by itself. You have to dig it. You have to put in the effort. So that's my inspiring speech for the day. I hope you like my sweatshirt. I got this a little while ago. I think I got this at TJ Maxx, and it's so cute. And I have it on with a vintage petticoat. And I also got some new pink fake Uggs, because I'm not going to pay the price for Uggs. And so let's do my tour. Okay, so you come in the door, which I'm going to be getting a different one of these little organizer things. This one actually is from my bedroom, and I switched it out with the one that I had in here because this has more hooks, but I'm gonna switch it out for one that actually has less hooks, because I think that this has been a big source of hoarding stuff, procrastinating stuff, and putting projects and things up there, and then I just never get to them because they're layered over on top of each other. So let's show you the closet first. This is my great-grandfather's clock, which I need to find a place for. So we've got a storage of tool up here, which is upcoming projects. And I had 2 baskets that were full of ribbons and trims and all kinds of lace and things like that. And I actually decluttered one whole basket and gave it to the sewing school. And now I have upcoming projects in here that are already cut out. And then this is the rest of the more colorful or upholstery or heavier weight stuff of trims. That's all I have is there. This is my serger threads. That's all I have. Down here, these are zippers, but those are going into a case that I just redid. So I'll be putting those away. This is extra thread. These are little scraps of ribbon and different colors of ribbon that I have that I wrap up online packages, my iron, extra scissors, and the ironing stuff. And then this is all that I have for fabric. That is it. Anything that's in there, that's all I have. And that's all my shipping stuff at the bottom. And a couple of rolls of other fabric that are larger quantities. So yeah, the closet just feels so, I mean, it's not empty, but it feels empty compared to how it was before. It just feels so much lighter. Then let's see, we'll go over here. Then you can see with the glare, this is actually a vintage Laura Ashley wallpaper that I have a little bit of a roll of, and I just thought it would be really pretty. And that is a vintage frame that I've had for years. And there's the candle head. I have to say this candle was a big disappointment. I did like the smell, but that top wick there just stopped. I've dug it out several times. It just refuses to relight. So the candle is just tunneling right down in this second wick. So I'm just kind of waiting for it to finish, and then I can use it as a container. So this is all of the vintage and antique lace and trims that I have now. That's all I have. It's all contained in there, and I cannot get over how much less chaotic it looks in there. And it just gives me so much peace just to have that, so much so that I took the fabric off the doors, that I didn't feel like I had to hide it anymore. And then there is the footstool that I just recently made over. This is was my bedroom mirror for a long time, and I had put it out in the other room, and then I have brought it back in here, so I had a mirror finally. Hello. And then we have T. Gray's new cat tree, aka the Tower of Power, and he likes it really well. So funny how he refuses to climb up. This whole level he totally doesn't pay any attention to, and he just jumps immediately here, and then he will climb up, and sometimes he jumps right from the floor up to here. So that's kind of funny, but he does love these 2 perches. This one I don't think he's ever been on, and then he does love to sleep in there. So then we have my dress form. This is stuff that I'm going to be talking about for an upcoming haul. That's a frame, vintage frame that I painted, and yeah, some childhood stuff. And this is something that is going to be a new project I'm working on. Something that I've wanted for pretty much my whole life is I finally bought myself a dollhouse. Yes, a dollhouse, because dollhouses do not have an age. They can be for anybody. And especially in my later years now, it's a perfect time to be doing projects that you can kind of putter around with. So I'm getting ready to put the, to finish building the tower here. And I'll show you more about that another time. That's my grandmother's sewing table that I redid, and some storage boxes under there. This is a little table that I redid, and this is the project that I will talk about later. So then we go over here. Actually, let me show you. So now you can see the table that is coming out into the middle of the room, which doesn't give me a lot of room, but I love it now so I can work on both sides of it. That makes me super happy. Whereas in the past, it was up against the wall and I could only ever work on one side. So now it seems like I actually have more room, even though it takes up more room in this way, if that makes sense. And all I have under here is, those are the only two projects I have that I'm working on. And there's some wrapping paper, and there's a thing of interfacing and stuff. And then this is my new beautiful carpet that I am in love with. It's my little, you know, I live in a chateau, even though I don't live in a chateau. I just love this, like squirrels and little chickies and deer, peacocks, there's swans. There's a little black swan, which is so cute. Yeah, I really, first I thought this was going to be too busy, but then I decided I wanted something that was just going to be really unique and something that would make me happy every day that I saw it, rather than just a regular carpet. And I never would have thought I would get something this bold, but I'm so happy that I did. The one thing I will say though, this is not a rug. This is more like one of those washable mats. I think like Ruggable started this company that, you know, you supposedly can throw it in a washer. I don't know what kind of washer they think I have. I guess I would have to take this to like a laundromat, but it does, it has a grippy on the other side, so I don't necessarily need a rug pad. But I think in hindsight, because it does kind of move around a little bit, it's kind of shifted over to one side here. You can see it's kind of bunching up over there. So I think I would, you know, down the road, I'm not doing it right now because my back is like enough moving, but down the road, I would probably put a rug pad under there to prevent it from shifting. There are the new chairs. And despite Tigre's new tower, he does much prefer in the afternoons to sleep in one of these. So we are still having chair wars, where it seems like whatever one I want to sit in, he's going to jump into that one as soon as I get up. And then I have to move the chair, and then he goes, and it goes on and on all day. That's my machines. And yeah, just there's extra needles in these old tea canisters. And then my sergers that I have stickered. I did that kind of on impulse, but I really do love how it looks. It just has a cute kind of, I don't know, boho vintagey look to them. And that's my little sewing machine and the little dollhouse project that I had done on my video, and the little shelf there with the drawers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got extra thread up there and a little vintage pattern. And yeah, that's really the extent of the tour. There's so little to show you. I did end up putting all the bias tape into this little set of drawers because if you saw, I had done a community post a little while ago and showed that the little tiny night table that I had for years, I finally tested it for lead, and it very much in fact had lead. So I got that out of my life, and yep, that was it. So in here, there are beads and buttons and sewing machine parts. And then there's the rest of the dollhouse parts that I am using to build with. And that is pretty much it. It's probably not as involved and scintillating of a tour, but I absolutely love the whole mood of the room now. To me, it's just softer and it's more feminine, and it just has a bright, inspiring mood to it. I cannot describe how much a difference of a color can make. I am truly, truly shocked. And I have painted many, 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 many rooms in my life. I've moved a lot. And I cannot get over how much this has changed the entire look of this room. So I'm really glad that I could share it with you. And now I think we're going to do a quick little haul. Hi. This is actually really good too, because now I can show you things and the table's right in front of me. And it's, oh, hang on, picture falling. And it's so much easier than, yeah, the setup that I had before. So that's an extra bonus. This is from Gertie. And if you know anything about Gertie, she does like vintage, retro looking clothes. That's a picture from, so I am a member of her Patreon, and I have decided, in light of Joann's closing and in light of me no longer having the, you know, ability to just grab patterns, you know, for those $1.99, 99¢, you know, those days are over, I think. I wanted to start concentrating on making some nice clothes and less clothes. More quality pieces, more pieces that I would want to wear year after year. And I decided that I wanted to go back to, you know, my obsession with the 1950s, and yeah, just start concentrating on making things that, like, I mean, that tuxedo, yes, I want to make a nice tuxedo. Where am I going to wear it? I don't know, but I think it's one of those things that kind of like, if you make it, you'll have an occasion. So I want to make it. Now, I love that hers is all bedazzled, but I think that I would make it more with just like a dark satin down the side, and the dark satin, you know, like very, very conventional, like a Marlene Dietrich. So anyway, I got the first issue of her magazine, and like I said, I'm a member of the Patreon, so I do have access to the patterns now on there. And yeah, I'm just going to be working my way through. Now, Joann's is imminently closing, so I have been, since the announcement, I have been going and kind of just puttering around there, bringing the ladies some cookies. In fact, I have to go this week. And just, you know, I would buy one fabric, then another fabric, and it didn't really go there at the intention of like getting a big haul of stuff, because the prices were a major disappointment. And I really only bought one fabric that was, no, two fabrics that were like 30% off, and one was 20% off. That was the first day that they announced, yes, they are in fact closing all the stores. So I just thought I would share. The rest of these were like 60% off, and I was just buying like the end of the bolt. So this is the first one. This is a nice satin that I am hoping to make a really pretty top out of. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. It is 60 wide, but I only have just about a yard. So we'll see. But I thought that was gorgeous, and I had to get it. This is the next one. This is kind of wild. This is not something, actually there's two that are kind of wild, but I'm thinking of doing this with the possibility of layering either lace over it or a chiffon to kind of subdue it a little bit. I haven't exactly decided. I got several yards of this. I think I got 3 yards, but I I was very excited because of the heavy quality of this charmeuse. And that's kind of hard to find nowadays because it's usually the cheaper, thinner kind, where this is super heavy. So I had to get that. That was 60% off. And I think that came to, might have been, I'm going to say the wrong price, but it was only a few dollars a yard, maybe $3 or $4. This is the next one. And I actually think this is really pretty. And I might not layer this one, but I'm not exactly sure. But I did get, I think, 3 yards of this as well. Again, it's very, very heavy. This is the one that I got the first day that I found out that they were closing, and this was only 20% off. This is also a charmeuse, but I wanted to make a slip dress out of this. I knew that I had to get it because it was probably going to sell out once everything went on sale. So I haven't seen any of it since, so I'm glad that I got that. And then I did get this. This is a remnant of a sheer. Here, let's open it. Let's open it. I can't open it. Oh. This was actually, I think this was 50 or 60% off. And this is a gorgeous sheer. And all I could think of was sleeves, just beautiful sleeves out of that, because it's done all the smocking for you. How pretty. So I'm really glad I got that. I got some trim that was the last of the bolt, and it came in actually 2 pieces. Oops, dropping stuff. And I just thought this was so pretty, and I am planning, I recently shared a kind of a Chanel type jacket that I've always wanted to make one and chickened out, but now seeing this, I definitely think it's going to put a fire under me to get that done. Now I have the pattern, I have the trim, I'll just have to decide what fabric I'm going to use. So I did get some of that. It's about 2 yards. And I did also get the rest of this. This is like a netting, but the color was just really pretty. So I got the last of what that was. I think it's a little over 2 yards. That was probably one of the more expensive things I got, both of those. But again, they were the end of it, and I thought I'd better get it because I'm not going to see it ever again. I did get 4 new look patterns that were, when I got it, I think they were 50% off. So this is another Chanel type jacket. And then they have, you know, some variations on that. And new look 6, 7, 8, 9. I did get this one for View C. This is new look 6, 7, 8, 6. And I do like that with the lower neck. So if I have enough, I'm not sure I have enough. Oh yeah, I might have enough of one of these heavy charmeuse. I think that I would have enough to make one of those. This I got that I never would think that I would be able to do, but when I looked at the lines of it, I said, oh, maybe I could actually do that. This is new look 6794. And I like the pants on that because the jacket is kind of a little longer and boxier, and the pants are slimmer. So I think I actually might be able to actually achieve that. And then this one, oh, what did I get this for? I think I got this for the pants. I didn't so much like the top, but I did like the pants that are like high-waisted and kind of slim. So new look 6712. So that's it for the patterns because they were all gone by the time I went there. The next fabric I got is this kind of a gauzy, and I only got 2 yards of this because this was only 30% off. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. And it's like a gauze, so it's pretty sheer. but I thought to make a really pretty summer blouse out of that, maybe something with kind of a puff sleeve. I thought that would be really pretty. Oh, Tigre's snoring. And then this one, I'm hoping that I have enough to make maybe a slip dress. I think I got 2 yards of this. And I thought that was really pretty. Definitely a romantic-y kind of look. And this. So I'm glad that I went in there and I didn't go cuckoo monkey on just getting fabric, because first of all, I had done like a huge clear out. So you would not believe, I haven't thrifted any fabric of any kind, of any sheets, of anything. I just go in there and I'm like, nope, don't need it. Nope. And I'm not saying I will never again, but it's definitely curbed me for right now. And even when going into Joann's, I was just like, I was told, well, just go, you should go now. My family's like, well, go now. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to get stuff just because it's going on sale. There will always be fabric. I will always be able to find fabric, not as conveniently as I have been able to, but I mean, because Hobby Lobby is mostly like quilting kind of stuff. They don't really have much dressy stuff. Not at the one that's near me. So, I mean, cotton is fine, but I don't usually use that a lot. So, yeah, so I'm getting very particular. And this was the only thing that I got that was kind of like a wild card, that it wasn't, I mean, I'm gonna wear it because I really like it, but this was kind of a little different. But I got whatever was left on the bolt, and I think it was like 3 something. This is one of those, like, I don't know what it is. It's just like a synthetic, silky synthetic. I guess you could say it's more like the lighter weight of a charmeuse, but it's a little stiffer than a charmeuse. But I thought it would be very pretty. So yeah, it's not something I would immediately run to, but I think the pink in it against the darker background, I do think that, I think it'll be pretty. I think it's more like a, maybe like a fall, like a lightweight fall kind of fabric. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to make out of it. Or I was thinking this would be an amazing lining inside of a coat. So, when you have the coat fabric on the outside and then you flash this on the inside, now that could be really pretty. So maybe that's why I ended up getting it. That could be a good reason. So oh, and one more thing I had to show you. This is the only thing I have thrifted lately that was any kind of clothing. This was $3.99 and I had my 30% off, and this is looks like a vintage Ann Taylor from the tag. I think that's like how it used to look when I was in high school. So I thought this was so pretty, and it's silk and it has the little tassels and it is super soft, so pretty. It has a beautiful weight to the silk, so I absolutely love that, and I know I'm going to wear that a lot. So that is it. That is all I have to show you today. Thank you so much for letting me share my new room. Thank you so much for taking the little tour with me and being so super kind and supportive on my little shorts that I've been kind of cranking out with my projects. The next time I film, I'm going to show you the project that didn't come out so great. I'm going to share my dollhouse construction. I'm going to share, oh my gosh, I have so many things. I'm just like been like a whirlwind of activity. So I also want to start planning my summer wardrobe, because summer is a time that, oh my gosh, if you follow me for any time, you know I despise the summer. I can't stand sweating. I can't stand humidity. I absolutely, it's the worst. It's the most, I hate to say it, but it's true. It's the most cranky that I get throughout the entire year. Like, I would rather be cleaning off my car in the winter. I would be rather shoveling, even though shoveling is awful, with the snow. And any other season. I love fall. I love spring, even though spring has been really rainy now. I really do. I love it so much. But summer, ugh. So I think the excitement I want to build up in me is to start making a lot of cute summer clothes and making cute tops, making cute slip dresses, making things that I'm going to want to wear and look forward to, even though it's going to be sweaty. Because that's another problem I usually have. It's so hot and sweaty, and everything I put on, I'm like, and it just makes me even more cranky. So I want to minimize the cranky this year. I want to be happy and excited. And yeah, so I've been talking a mile a minute. Thanks so much for watching. I love you, and stay abundantly inspired. I love you. Take care. Bye.